Time to round up a big story from the week. A reporter asked Donald Trump if he supported the idea of creating a database to track Muslims in the U.S. Turns out Trump says he never heard the question. He was accused of backing a database on all Muslims in the U.S., but Trump denies making the remark. Yesterday, he clarified his position, saying he wants surveillance of certain mosques as well as a Syrian refugee database. That's our topic this half hour. We want to hear from you on our Fox 26 Facebook page. You can also make your comment on Twitter. Use the hashtag Fox26forlife. Joining us live in the newsroom is our roundup panel led by our senior legal analyst, Chris Tritico, our news analyst, Mustafa Tamiz, and public policy analyst, Jackie Bally. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
So it seems like, depending on who you ask, some folks think, yes, he did make these remarks. Other people say, no, that the reporter and the media completely misconstrued what he was saying.
Very caustic remarks, but we got to start with something happier. Sam Houston State, the best university in Texas, won again last night, Sally. Just got to announce that. People wondering why I wear an orange tie, because it's Sam Houston State University.
Right. People are wondering if you need a new tie for Christmas because you wear the orange one so often. But congrats, Chris.
Thank you. All right. Now, Donald Trump is now saying he didn't say he didn't understand the question. But on Thursday, he was asked by an NBC reporter to clarify his remarks whether all Muslims in the country should be forced to register. His answer was they have to be. They have to be. And then he said, when he was asked later if how that would work, he said they would have to register at different places. You sign up at different places, but it's all about management. Our country has no management. So I'm sorry, Donald, you said it, and now you're trying to back off because a wave of criticism from not only from Democrats, but from every Republican candidate against this statement has come Donald Trump's way. Ted Cruz, who has yet to criticize Donald Trump, criticized this. That was about all Donald Trump needed. President Obama even said in response to Donald Trump, perhaps ignorant racists should wear special ID badges too. This has been swift and critical on Donald Trump on this statement, and that's why he's backing off. Mustafa Tamiz, you're Muslim. You should be offended by this.
Well, look, throughout our history, Americans have been afraid at different points. We were afraid after the Pearl Harbor, and we interned Japanese Americans. During the Red Scare, Joe McCarthy, a senator from the United States, had lists of people that he outed because he believed they were communists.
When they weren't.
When they weren't, and we've had issues where we had the racist laws of the South when we segregated people. Jews and African Americans weren't allowed to be in the same restrooms and so on. So we've always had times when we've been afraid of the other. And there have always been people that stoke that fear amongst us and try to divide us. And Donald Trump is no different. And when we remember back Joe McCarthy, we don't remember him with fondness. We remember him with repugnation. So I think that this is the same type of tactic. We will go forward in our history, look back at this time, and look back at people like Donald Trump and be sad for what he said. But we have to decide as a nation, as an individual, where do you want to be? Do you want to be with the Joe McCarthy, or do you want to be with others?
I don't think anyone's going to be sad about what Donald Trump said, because no one's surprised. Donald Trump that's what he's been doing since he's been on the presidential campaign. He's been making statements. He's a lightning rod. When he first came on, I said, I don't really care for Donald Trump because of the way he states his policy statements, the few policy statements he does have.
Are there any?
So I'm not surprised by this comment, but I will say this will be the one time I will come close to defending Donald Trump. In the tape, it is clear that he's not really paying attention to what this reporter is saying. The reporter is saying, do you think we should do that? And he's like, oh yeah, let's do that. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not giving him an excuse for saying what he did, but it's clear the man has no policy. I've said that from day one. Right. And it's clear that he was just answering a reporter and trying to move on.
But we got to go to social media. But 2 days later, when NBC News asked him, he had a chance to say just that, and he defended that policy statement.
Well, he probably believes it because when 9/11 happened, he was on Bill O'Reilly, and that was 4 years before this incident, and he stated that he felt that we needed to do something about Muslims.
So he's got a double-digit lead, and we have just basically said that, it's Donald Trump. It's okay.
Everything he says, it doesn't seem to affect him in the polls. I'm going to go to Sally. She's monitoring our social media.
This obviously got a huge response on our Facebook page as we head over there to take a look at a few of the comments. Loretta says, I watched the video and Trump did agree to it. We all know Trump has a big mouth, and if he disagreed with what the reporter said, he would have said something. Ben says he did not. I guess he did not say it is what he means, but he agreed with it. And then Carlos says, Loretta, watch the video again. Instead of the snippets you're seeing, the reporter is trying to make him say something he is not. Trump is talking about a well-managed database that has information of people coming in. Nice try.
No, I disagree with that, and he's now modifying that. But clearly, when you watch that video, I think Jackie's probably right. He didn't understand the question when he first answered it, but 2 days later on NBC, he had a chance to clarify that, and he defended that policy position. He's only backing off now because of the swift criticism he got from everybody in the campaign. What about his idea now that we have to continue monitoring mosques?
I don't think he's backing away from it. I think he's just, he kind of creates this position where we keep talking about it. Did he say it? Did he not say it? But all the other stuff he says, whether it's, send back, deport 11 million people. I mean, he basically says bombastic things, and he says it in a way where people argue. Even when he talks about Ben Carson, he always says, well, he's not I didn't say he was a child molester, but then he puts him in the same category of child molester.
And let me throw Ben Carson in here, because he said last week, he equated Syrian refugees to rabid dogs running around our neighborhoods.
In this particular incident, Ben Carson said that we need to keep a database on everybody, not just Muslims. And Ben Carson has been very vocal about his positions on Christians. He feels that Christians should be have the presidency versus others who are not Christians. He's been very vocal, so no one should be surprised by his comments
by his anti-American comments.
His comments about the Syrians. No one should be surprised by that. And to go back to his comment about double digits for Donald Trump is not leading by double digits because of his statement on Muslims. He's leading by double digits because of his statement on immigration, illegal immigration,
racist.
Which a lot of, you may call it racist, but 60% of residents, both Democrat and Republican, agree with him.
No, all right. We're going to laugh.
60% of Americans agree with Donald Trump. Is that what you're saying?
On his position on immigration, illegal immigration.
Right. Deporting people out of this country.
About keeping our borders secure. Yes, they do.
All right. Well,
so
we can fight about that the rest of the show, but we got to go. We'll be back in about